Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Gaby U Show. I am your host, Gaby U. So today I have an amazing guest, Brenna Payne. And before we get dive deep into our topic today, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Brenna. So, Brenna, she's a two-time national champion in the sport of luge. And she found herself struggling as a mother of two after retirement from the sports. So once she started applying the tools her sports psychologist taught her as an athlete to parenting, things started falling into place. Now she teaches other moms the same skills to help them become the mothers they have always dreamt of being. And here we go. This is Brenna. Brenna, welcome to the Gaby U Show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, Brenna. So now, before we get started, really get started, I'm going to ask you some of my lovely two icebreaker questions.
Perfect.
We were talking, I love food. I love the kitchen. So I like to know what other people are cooking or what they like. So the first question is, what is your favorite food?
All right. So my favorite food is lobster. But I live in Colorado. We don't have, it's hard to come by here. So it's a little landlocked. So I don't get it that often, but that makes it all the more special when I do get a chance to have it.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the lobster. I don't know. I think I have more of a problem if somebody cut it up for me and all that. I have been given that when I went to the restaurant and I couldn't figure out there was the little tool.
Right. Like, what are you supposed to do with this?
I'm like, I know what? I'm not just gonna eat it because I don't know how to eat it.
Right.
But if somebody can clean it up for me, I think I like it.
Yeah, definitely. I was introduced to it by, I have a very good friend and former teammate who is from Maine. So that's where that's where lobster comes from.
I'm sure they have a lot of them there.
Yeah. So she showed me how to tackle those, those lobsters.
Somebody told me, I thought that's a good idea. You go to YouTube and see how it has helped me a lot. YouTube, when I don't know, I just go to YouTube and watch a video.
Right, exactly.
So for those of you listening, if you're like me, not wanting to eat lobster because of how to break it and all that, go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's worth learning how to do because it's so delicious.
Yes, I bet. All right. So the next thing I want to ask you, Brenna, what is your favorite quotes? I love quotes and I love to hear what yours is.
Yeah, I think my favorite quote, and one that applies to being an athlete and one that applies to being a mother and really a woman as well, is it's Winston Churchill's never, never, never give up.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is similar
nice and simple.
Yep. Yes, never give up. I actually have a quote like that. I kind of put together. I don't know who has said the quote. I have that in my website. We said, never give up the fight. Yeah. Because failure is not an event. Never give up the fight because it's not an event. So keep on going.
Just keep going. And as a mom, I mean, we can't give up. We have small children who depend on us, and you just have to keep, like you said, keep up the fight.
Yes. They are watching. If there's anything you have to, like, as you know, I know some of our listeners might not be mothers, but again, it's for yourself, for the people around who you are going to be impacting, because you need to fill up your cup. You can't give up. As long as you're in this world, you're breathing, we have to keep fighting every day.
That's right.
Can't just give it up.
Yep.
We'll learn from it and move on. Yeah. And refine the process and go to the next level. Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's a good one. All right. So Brenna, I want to ask you, I want you to share with me the key things that you feel has shaped you to be the woman you are today. Share with me your struggles, your victories. Is it from health, career, motherhood? just go all the way in. Let us know here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like you mentioned, I was a member of the U.S. national luge team. And I would say that formed me into the woman I am today, in many ways. So
Yes.
when I was 11, I started
I'm
doing
sorry,
this.
Brenna. Can you explain what's luge? Because I
Yeah,
know some a
sure.
lot of us might not know.
Don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So luge is a winter Olympic sport. It's on the same track as a bobsled track. So
Okay.
a lot of people might be familiar with bobsled, like the Jamaican bobsled team from the movie Cool Runnings. So same track as bobsled, but luge is 1 or 2 people, and it's feet first on this ice track. And it's measured to the 1,000th of a second, and races are won and lost by that small amount of time. And the sleds can go 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. So it's a lot of pressure, and some people might consider it dangerous, though. If you're going the speeds of 80, 90 miles per hour, you have a lot of training under your belt. So it's it's an experience. If you have the experience, you're a pretty safe athlete. So that's what luge is. So when I started doing that sport when I was 11, it just it was so exciting for me. It was all I wanted in my life. So I started missing school for a week here, a week there, and going to upstate New York without my parents. I was, supervised by coaches and lived in dorm rooms with 3 kids my similar age, but who I didn't know. And so you can imagine like what that does for your independence. So I would say I was very independent, or I had to be independent. I would say I learned early on what hard work was and what it takes to be one of the best in the nation at something. It's not easy. You have to set goals. You have to work towards those goals every day. You have to work not only physically on yourself, but mentally. It's so important. Luge is such a mental sport. So I think that helped turn me into the woman I am today. But then, upon retirement in 2007, I got married, started my professional career, and having children turned my world upside down. It was much more difficult than I ever expected parenthood to be. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But it is by far harder than racing a luge sled 90 miles per hour in the wintertime. So yeah, that's kind of, I would say those are my struggles in terms of parenthood. I had my children very close in age. They're 16 months apart. And my son, who's the youngest, he was very colicky. He had acid reflux, and he had a hard beginning. And that really, coupled with the postpartum depression and anxiety I had, made being a mom really hard. And he eventually got diagnosed with this genetic disorder, excuse me, called neurofibromatosis type 1. And also he has ADHD and some other, dysgraphia type writing diagnosis. So that, I think, I was like handed these difficult situations, and in the beginning I really struggled with it, but I'm fortunate to now have kind of figured it out and am happy with the way things have been going lately.
Wow. So, what would you say now, going through those struggles, and now you say you feel like you are in a better place. So, how did you turn that into, a victory to say? I don't know how to put
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely say it's a victory, because I just had, a really hard time. I always assumed that parenthood would come naturally, and it just never did. And I just struggled the whole time. I found myself to be a yeller, like I was yelling at my children, and it didn't feel good to me. I could tell it was kind of like it was breaking the bond we had as
Yes.
mother and children. And it was just our home was a stressful place. And I knew something
Yes.
had to change. And then one day I had a big blow up at my son, who's only 8 years old, and who has neurofibromatosis and ADHD. And I had this epiphany that I thought to myself, why am I not using the skills that I used as an athlete to be a better mother? So I learned all these skills from my sports psychologist from an early age, really. Starting at 11 years old, I started working with sports psychologists. So I'm talking goal setting, how to work every day toward those goals so that you can actually accomplish them, visualization. In the sport of luge, visualization is so important because you only get to train 3 or 4 times a day on the luge track itself. So you have to be able to imagine in your mind's eye what the perfect luge run is going to look like. Now I use that same technique, except I visualize myself interacting with my son or my daughter. And, I visualize an event that would usually trigger me to yell or just have a very negative reaction. But instead, I visualize myself reacting positively, reacting calmly. And it's just that epiphany that day that I had. It's changed everything. And our house is so much more peaceful. And it doesn't mean that my children behave perfectly. It's far from that. And
oh no.
But at least I can feel and I can sense that bond between us, which I think is so important in a long-term well-being. I can feel it growing stronger. So that's kind of how that worked. Yeah.
It's interesting, you as a child, going through, you had the sports psychologist, with doing the sports of luge, and now it just hits you that, wait a minute, I could use this. And this is what happens to a lot of us, that we have the tools, but we are not realizing we have it. We are there, trying to seek for other things, and it's like, yeah, you have it, you just need to reactivate it, because all these things going through in our life, there's always something about life that I don't feel like anything is wasted. Sometimes it might be something very painful, it might be trauma, but there's somehow a purpose, and there's turning your lemons into sweet lemonade. I like to put the sweet, I know they say turn it to lemonade, but I say sweet lemonade, because so that is what it is, that all these experiences are kind of shaping us, trying to and of course we have to be careful too, not to make us to let some of these past don't stop us from being who we need to be, because again, sometimes these things of course help us to refine us to a better person, but sometimes if we stay in that level of, I would say, victim mentality, we don't move on. And we say, yeah, this happened, and you keep dwelling on that, not finding a way of how to be a victor in it, then we get stuck. So
right, that's right. And it easily could have happened to me. He was born with this genetic disability, and it's like I could have just kept falling back on that, but instead, finally, I came to this, like I said, this realization that things need to be different, because I kind of started imagining 15, 20 years down the road, like I had these dreams of still having a great relationship with my children, and them inviting me over to their houses for Sunday dinner. And then I was like, that is not going to happen on the trajectory we're at. Like, there's no way that they're going to want, I'm the yelling mom. I don't want to be, it had to stop, and something had to change. So, yeah.
Wow. That is awesome. So what would you say today? What are you most proud as a woman today?
I am really proud of my kid. It's a cliche. But I'm proud of my kids. They, especially this year, holy smokes, this e-learning stuff,
Oh my goodness.
we're surviving, and they're learning, and even my son with ADHD, like, we've got our struggles, because you set him in front of a computer. It's like so many temptations on there.
I know. I have my son too. He's on the computer and he's like running away and goes upstairs. I'm like, wait a minute, your teacher is talking. Why are you not?
Right. I know. So I guess I would say I'm so proud of them. And I guess I would say, like, my husband and I, we model the behavior we want to see from them. And I think that's such an important thing to keep in mind. We want them to see us in the way we behave, so that they take that, and then, eventually when they have children, they behave in the right way, or, just a positive way to make. So and that's another reason why I knew I had to change, because I didn't want this cycle of yelling to just be passed down to the next generation.
And it's like the quotes they say, it's a be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
It starts from the home.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah.
But that's interesting. I mean, I know you say, it sounds cliche, but it's interesting that all my guests so far I've talked to, when I asked them this question, I think I would say 95% of them have said they are proud of their kids.
Oh.
And I mean, there are just so many things similar, like, what you're doing is, we're doing it for our kids, because it's something I was even discussing with all my guests I've talked to, that, when as a woman, you're empowering the woman, you are also empowering your children, whether they are girls or boys, especially if you have girl kids, because, they train to want to model what's their mom,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, whatever you're doing, and that's the thing I said, women, don't give up, don't keep fighting, just think about it, you're doing it for your kids, because this is just like a ripple effect. We got to take care of ourselves. We have to do that self-care. It's not selfish. I keep repeating that. It's you taking care of yourself. You don't want to have an empty cup, and if you have something in that cup, you want it to be a good stuff too. There's different things. It's like, don't want it to be empty, and you want it to be good stuff in it.
Yep. Healthy stuff. Yep. Exactly.
So that, because women, we give, and if we have to give, we want to give out good stuff. For you, you talk about, you felt like you had the yelling mom, because this is the thing that was inside that needed to be changed. It's because you are giving, but you weren't giving it.
Right.
The right thing out. Yeah. So, but being proud now that at least you could see that you are a better mom, and you could see you could have better kids.
Yeah. And that this just reminded me that until that day that I had that epiphany, I was always thinking, like, why I was like victim blaming myself, like, why won't my kids listen better? If only they would do what I said they would do. And I kind of like turned it all on them. But that on that day, I realized and started working on myself, because I'm the only one who can make these important changes. I can't do anything. I can't make them do anything.
Yes.
I'm the only one I can control, really.
Yes.
And so that's, I think, I think it's important to realize that you can work on yourself to make your situation better. And I think that's,
it starts with you. No matter how it looks like, it starts with you.
That's right.
And so that leads us to the next thing I want to ask you. So what are some of the encouraging words you want to give to a woman listening to us today?
I would say, especially moms who are struggling, because I'm part of different parenting groups, and I would say there's a lot of hopelessness out there when your child doesn't behave, or they have ADHD, and they, you're questioning whether you should medicate them or whatever, and like they just have behavioral issues. I would say the most encouraging word I could give you is the word hope. There is hope out there. you have the ability to make change. And how great is that? Like
Yes.
like I just mentioned, you can only control yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start working toward those goals of, working on yourself to help repair the bond between you and your
Yes.
children, I think you'll see a huge difference. And I work with my clients on similar things. So, and it's
Yes.
really just to help repair those bonds, help them set goals and work towards them. And so there is hope out there.
Yes, that's true. That's the thing. I say, where there is where there is life, there is hope.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
this leads to like, don't give up the fight. There
That's
is
right.
hope. It's something that, just being alone, you feel like you're alone, but you have to seek out and seek for that help. And I know sometimes we might feel that if we are seeking for help, that means we are weak, but actually it's the other way around. We have to seek for help, seek for those mentors, seek for those coaches that can help us, or mothers that can understand, that have gone through that, because sometimes you have mentors of, if you have young kids, you can look for a mom that has older kids, and they can,
Right. Right. And another important thing to keep in mind, and I think in today's day and age, and it's something I suffered from, was I felt like everyone else, because of social media, was living the perfect life. Like that's just what is portrayed on social media. On Facebook, everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. And here I am in my house with my kids screaming at me.
They're just showing you their highlights.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, some are real, but some of them, you can't believe everything. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. So I would say another, like, because I have a group of friends that we're really close and we are very honest with each other, most women are suffering, or not suffering. It's not easy. We're all having a difficult time. And I think it's so important to be honest about, and it's hard to be in this day and age, to be honest about how difficult parenthood is.
Yes.
But, I think it's something important to talk about.
Yes. And, finding those groups, joining some groups that, will help you to have a community, so to speak.
That's right.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, awesome. So, Brenna, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I have a few different ways. I have a Facebook group. It's called Mother Like a Champion. So if you just look for that, Mother Like a Champion. And then I also have a website. It's motherlikeachampion.com.
Okay.
And all of my contact information is up on that site.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to maybe take a little time and chat with me on the phone or on a Zoom call, you can schedule that by going to motherlikeachampion.com/mini session.
Okay. All right. And are you on Instagram, Facebook?
I haven't. So that Facebook group is Mother Like a Champion, and then I have an Instagram with the same name. I'm not very good at Instagram. That's gonna be a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Figure it out.
That's not hard. I love Instagram. That's where I am.
I'm mostly Facebook, but I know there are people out there like you. So I need to, in order to reach people, I need to go all the different avenues.
Yes, I'm in both places, but I've seem to be loving Instagram more because it seems to have some more tools and
yeah, I need to check it out.
Yes, check it out. That's your vision board list. So
exactly.
Okay. And so for you guys listening, if you're listening on the podcast, I will have it on the show notes. And if you watch this on YouTube, I'll have it below the description there, so you can see all this information. Good thing to check her out, see what's going, how it can help you, because a lot of us, we need this help, Yes. Oh my goodness, this is good. So thank you so much, Brenna. I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, Gaby. I really appreciate it, and it sounds like you've got a really cool community, and I'm excited to watch you as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, people, this is all we've got today for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to leave this episode with my favorite quote from Maya Angelou that says, "When you know better, you do better." See you next time. Bye-bye.